Hey guys, thanks so much for coming back to Breedstyles. On today's episode, girl, we are sipping the tea about CBD, girl, and that rhyme did not cost a dime. So I'm gonna hop straight into this video. I stopped by my local CBD shop and I thought to myself, girl, I can make a video about this because this CBD is something that I use every single month. And I just kind of wanted to share with you guys the uses and the ways in which I use CBD and why it has been so beneficial and instrumental in my life. So just a little disclaimer for the girls and boys who are thinking that everyone is on YouTube to be an expert. Girl, that is not me. I'm not an expert. I'm just here to let you guys know my limited knowledge of CBD. Now, I have done a lot of research on my own, and that's going to be up to you girls to hop on Google and Google that, and see if it sounds like something that would be good for you. But CBD in general, I looked at the definition for the girls, is a chemical compound from the cannabis sativa plant. There is no THC in CBD, so no girl, the girls are not getting high. It is not a psychoactive. That's the word. It's not a psychoactive drug, so it does not make you, high or anything like that, or get the munchies like the girls who have tried marijuana before. CBD is just, like I said, the chemical compound that has some of the properties in it that help to do a few things. So I want to share with you guys what CBD is known for, and then I want to share with you guys what I use CBD for. So CBD touts a lot, girl. She has a lot of claims. She has anti-anxiety claims, anti-depression claims, anti-acne claims, pain relief, and claims of relieving symptoms of PTSD as well as sleep apnea. Sorry for looking down, girl. I am checking my notes. So those are just a few of the very, very, very many claims. Actually, if you go into a CBD shop, girl, they got the claims all around the building of what they are touting that they are known for. Now, what do I use CBD for? First of all, I'm just going to show you guys what I use, and the reason why is I had to stop by today and get me some. I use the Sun State's Hemp Cbd Gummies, and I have the fruit slices that have like the little sour stuff on there. And this is what I use every single night before bed. I take 2 gummies and I sleep like a baby. So for me, okay, so before I even get into what I do, I'm going to finish sharing with you guys. Also, if your girl is feeling a little bit anxious, stressed, around that time of the month, I talk about that time of the month a lot. And I think it's because for me, that is when I see the biggest shift in my mood and the biggest shift in my aura and my spirit. I tend to be really down and out around my period. I have a lot of anxiety and sometimes some slight depression, but that's when I really notice a dip in my mood. And so I'm always looking for things to kind of help balance me out, especially if I'm feeling super stressed or anxious, especially with work. So I work as an executive assistant, and usually I love my job and I have no issues whatsoever. But around that time of the month, it seems like that's the time when I really cannot contend with my mood. And so that's where, oh, girl, I'm dropping stuff. That's where these little puppies come into play. These are actually honey sticks. They're flavored honey sticks. And you could put this in your chamomile tea, your peppermint tea, your sleepy time tea, and it helps to add just a little bit of calming effect to your tea. Also, you can have this during the day. And unlike the gummies, which make me very sleepy, these just adds a little bit of relaxation to my tea to help kind of calm me down, especially if I'm feeling unreasonably stressed. I feel like I'm a pretty reasonable person most of the time. I'm a very happy person most of the time. And I know when I'm feeling unreasonable. I know when I'm feeling so cranky that I want to explode on someone who doesn't deserve it. And so this really does help. And then the last thing that I will share with you guys is the CBD coffee. This stuff is also very good. You can drink it in the morning, and instead of, how coffee sometimes will give you that anxiety, like especially if you have a dark roast blend or something like that, the coffee will really make you feel very anxious and sweaty. For some reason, I get so I get so stressed out with coffee sometimes. And so these little K-cups, when I'm like around that time of the month, if I'm feeling super duper stressed or whatever, I will have a CBD K-cup. I get the little bit of boost of caffeine with the coffee, but also a little bit of a calming effect. So the caffeine doesn't hit me as strong. So the place that I go is a local place here in Greensboro. It's called Hemp CBD. And this is their card and this is their information. Oh, they have the claims on the back of the card. So migraines, headaches, anti-inflammatory, anxiety, nausea, pain, inflammation, muscle pain, I can't read it, it's too small. Seizures, anti-tumoral, arthritis, addiction, and more. So these are the claims that it has on the back of the card that it helps to help treat. But I want to now share what I truly use CBD for. So for me, as I've already mentioned or alluded to, I use CBD for sleep. So for me, I take 2 gummies before bed and I sleep like a baby. I am a very high-strung person. I'm always doing something. I have a to-do list a mile long. I'm always wanting to check things off. I'm a very productive type A kind of personality. And so for me, sometimes it can be very hard for me to wind down at the end of the day. I do an hour of yoga. I sit there and I have my little, what do you call it? Oil diffuser. Girl. I have my little oil diffuser and I try to just calm down, but sometimes I just am so wound up, I cannot calm down. Even after walking like 8 to 10 miles, I still have that much energy. And a part of it I attribute to my multivitamin that I take. I take a multivitamin and I think it gives me a lot of energy, but also my diet is good. So I feel like when my diet is good, I have more energy. So this really helps me to calm down at night. I have my gummies and I go to sleep. And, there have been times when I have been so stressed or anxious in the middle of the day that I will take one of those gummies and calm down. It will make, for me anyway, it makes me very sleepy. So I try to refrain from taking it in the middle of the day unless I am really, really, really down and out and really stressed. And like I said, that's not often at all. But in terms of anxiety, I used to suffer before I had Joanna. I suffered with anxiety and depression on a real serious level. And after I had her, something changed in my chemical makeup. I don't know what it is or why it is that after I had Joanna, I just do not have that level of anxiety that I had before her. And she brings a lot of joy into my life. I do know that, and I absolutely adore her. She gives me something to live for. She gives me something to focus on other than just myself. I think before I had her, I was really in my own head all the time, stressed and worried about non-issues for the most part. And I think something was going on with my chemistry. Like, I don't know what it was, but I went to therapists. Without getting into too much detail, I had a past of mental health issues. And then after Joanna, it's like nothing, and I thank God for that. I really do thank God for that. But I have had a few bouts here and there of anxiety, maybe brought on from outside circumstances or something really stressful going on in my life. And CBD has definitely 100% helped with my anxiety when I do have it. As I said, I don't have it to the severity, and I don't know if it would help me, if I had it to the severity that I had before Joanna. And that's what I want to be clear about. All I can say for certain is that the low level anxiety that I have and the low level mood situations that I have, CBD does definitely help out tremendously with that. Sleep is not like the reason why I'm doing this video is because I didn't have CBD for 2 nights and I slept like a total of 3 hours each night. I was that wound up and that, and it was also my fault because I didn't do my yoga and I didn't have my tea. And usually I have to try to do all of this to calm down, you guys. Like, that's how much energy that I typically have in a day. And so the CBD really is needed for me to be able to go to sleep. It is very effective in helping me sleep. Very effective in helping me sleep. Very effective with the anxiety. Very effective in stress reduction. Because I think anxiety for me and stress, like work stress is two different things. Sometimes I can be stressed at work but feel no anxiety, and sometimes I can have anxiety with no stress. Do you know what I mean? So I think that it helps with both tremendously. And also with depression, I don't really see a real change in my mood when it comes down to depression or anything like that. In terms of pain, I will say that when I first started with CBD, and I would have a very intense and strong workout, and typically I would be in a tremendous amount of pain the next day, I feel a lot less inflammation and a lot less pain using CBD. But as I have used it now, probably going on 2 years now, I've been using CBD. I don't find that it helps really with recovery as it did in the beginning. But it's still very effective for my sleep, so that's why I continue to take it. Now, on the negative things that I would say about CBD, there are two things that I want to mention. One kind of CBD so there's all kinds of different brands. You can get this brand, like I said, this Sunstate Hemp brand is found on Amazon as well. I don't order it because I need it when I need it, you know what I mean? But my sister tried a different kind of CBD that was not this brand, and she was having this weird thing where her heart was skipping a beat. And she said that it only happened when she would take the CBD, and when she would take, I guess, like 2 or 3 of them, she had this weird thing where, you know, like your heart skips a beat and it makes you want to cough like that. It's a real weird thing. But she showed it to me and it was real, and that's something that she experienced. So I think she changed the kind of CBD that she was taking and she didn't experience that anymore. Or else maybe she cut it out altogether. I'm not sure. But that is something that she experienced. I never experienced that. I've been taking CBD for years. And so the only other thing that I would say that's a negative for me is the cost. So girl, this right here is by itself, I want to say it is $60, something like that, at my local shop. So, and then like everything together was like $75 just for these just this was $75. So it is expensive. This container will last me a full month. So I will take the gummies and 2 per night, and that lasts me for a whole month. So for me, it's totally worth it. Whereas you might not find that it's worth it. It just depends on, you know, your budget and everything like that. But that's really the only negative things that I have ever experienced. My husband uses the vape, and he also puts the actual flower in like a not tobacco paper, but it's like organic paper, and then he will smoke it as well. I have smoked it before, and it just hits you a little bit quicker in terms of like you get real sleepy right away. But I choose to really not smoke it as much because I don't want to, you know, damage my lungs or anything like that. And I don't think it's good to be inhaling anything into your lungs, but that's just a personal preference. I know my husband does. And I would rather him smoke that than, you know, weed or, you know, cigarettes or something like that. That's like people try to use to calm down, and it's not natural. So anyway, that's pretty much, I wanted to share with you guys about CBD because it is important to me and I absolutely love it, and it has helped me in so many ways, in more ways than one. If you have any questions about CBD, I'm not a CBD expert. Google is far more experienced at explaining these things than I, but I can at least tell you from my personal experience what I experienced with CBD and maybe answer some general questions about my experience. So please ask away in the comment section below. If you like videos like this, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.